There's another side of this game. When it comes to men, the man with the paper got it even over the most handsome in the bag. Trust me when I say this. The man with the paper, you got a real handsome dude, and you got the man with the paper. Who they choosing? This is funny. I want to see what you say. Who they choosing? Darlene? Who they choose? Do they want the handsome man, or do they want the man with the paper?
Majority of the time, it depends on where you're at and all that, but I think they're going to choose the guy with the paper.
Craig Fact.
Be like,
who get the bros? The man with the paper or the real handsome man when they all in the room together?
It's going to be the man with the paper. The average woman is going to choose the man that makes her life the easiest financially.
What does a submissive woman do for her man?
Everything. Like packing his bag, unpacking his bag, just making sure all the things that he wants. And like, I pretty much read his mind. So it's like, if I know you, like I know how you are in the morning, I know how you are about midday, I know when you're in this mood, what you need. Like before you can ever ask me for something, I'm already on it. I'm like, he's spoiled rotten. Like he's rotten, but I love that. Like I want him to be that. I think my biggest flex is how I treat my man.
It's your joy.
It is my joy. You know, I love to see him eating the meal that I cooked. I love seeing him sleep easy. Every night, like clockwork, I scratch this man's back to sleep. And I know when he's asleep because I can tell when his breathing changes. And some people might think that's psychotic, but that's like, I just know that's when I'm like, oh, I can stop now. But I find joy in being your rest.
Do you feel like if a woman stays, she's weak?
I don't think she's weak. I think she has a lot of underlying issues that need to be processed. And I think she doesn't have awareness of what those are. And what that relationship is feeding are the underlying issues. And so I never tell them to leave, but I do help them either say, this is what the work is going to take to stay, and this is what it looks like for you to leave. What do you want to do?
We got the quesadillas, the yellow rice, the pico, the chalupas are made to order, the special tacos are made to order. Everything else here is done. Chopped up the lettuce real thin like I like it. Everything is good to go. I'm just waiting for everybody to get home so they can have a hot meal after practice. I don't know about y'all. I don't know what brings you guys joy, but it really brings me joy to serve. I love being a servant. I love to serve. It just brings me joy. I love it. I don't give a damn. I'll be up at 6 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning, cooking breakfast, serving. I just love that. I love it. It just gives me purpose. And now with the new baby, now I just feel even more purposeful, especially like when I breastfeed. I feel so full of life. I love it.
I think that Jazz got herself into something that, one, she didn't understand that she was getting herself into. And I think she would love to backpedal if she could. But where do you go from here? You have a child. A lot of women, especially Black women, stay because they don't want to be a product of a broken house.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be a single mom. Who wants to be a statistic? Who wants to be that, right? And so for her, I understand why she would want to stay to make it work. But I also would understand why she wants to leave to do it right.
Yeah.
And it's not because he has kids, it's because this man is not honoring you.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can just say that about somebody. Like you think she got herself into something that she didn't understand. I mean, I don't understand. If you never talk to Jasmine, because some women are okay and happy in their situations. Every woman don't want one thing.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
There was a little bit of hypocrisy in the things that she's saying. First, starting off with that conversation with Cam Newton, which is her claim to fame, you know, in this space, I noticed that, you know, she was very adamant on him doing things in a particular way. And I think as women, we understand that when it comes to relationships, you as a woman, you're only in control, but so much. You're not the leading factor of the household, of relationships. You don't have a say when you go from girlfriend to wife. You know, you don't have that control. You only have control over if you're doing the right thing and playing the role, if he will give you that opportunity. So I think in the way in which she was kind of demanding, oh, you got to do this, it's kind of like, who are you to tell this man who's created all this family structure exactly the way in which you feel he's supposed to be able to do that.
Well put.
We all
I done been in rooms
We all have.
where my notoriety, where people think I got something, which is paper, has gotten me inside of drawers that's gonna regret me later on when they find out the paper ain't what they think it is. Understand why there's no respect for so many of the ladies that you sleep with, because you know it's because of your perception. I'm gonna tell you right now, once women realize I'm not finna be what they want me to be, they get the hell away from me.
Greetings, you polite savages.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Ladies, gentlemen, and polite savages, we are now about to embark on a journey sure to anger feminists and modern women alike. And this one's a doozy. We're going to talk about how someone can never get some satisfaction no matter how well they have it. The only thing we can do is guarantee to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as we see it. So there's nothing else left to do but get on into it. Are you ready? Let's go.
Polite savages, I was gonna keep my damn mouth shut, but I can't take any more of this nonsense. Cheyenne Bryant out here talking all this dumb stuff, but what she's really trying to do is create a dysfunctional family, the thing that she preaches against, with her over-incessant need to be right as a new age modern woman who doesn't even pretend that she has any respect for a high-value man that's sitting in front of her. She believes since her name is trending, she's out here hot on these social media streets with her useless degrees. This so-called doctor is doing her damnedest into hoodwinking and bamboozling women that do no thinking and not using their noodle to critically think and peak the game that Cheyenne Bryant is playing. She's out here teaching women to sabotage their relationships, whether consciously or subconsciously, however you want to interpret it. Out here destroy homes where we now know Cheyenne Bryant's PhD is a doctorate in home wrecking. She's acting like a wacky home wrecker, so what is it? Are you really trying to insert yourself in a position to be Cam's woman? I peeped the game and I think everyone else can see it. She thinks she's better than a high-value man like Cam Newton, speaking like she knows better when all it really gives is home wrecker vibes, cloaked in pseudo-analytical psychology terminology. Let's go ahead and admit it. Miss Bryant, what you really want is to be in the home, the top slot with the top dog like Cam Newton.
He also has a broken home with her, because a broken house and a broken home are two different things.
Explain.
So you have both. A broken house is just a single family home. It could be one mama, one daddy, or for people who have partners, it could be one partner in the house. That means just there's one person. A broken home is you got a two-party household. The home is so impaired it can't even function at a level of healthiness. Cam has both. And he knows that.
My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce.
You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life, and every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all, will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there.
The real selfish one to me, ladies, is this lady right here on the screen, attempting to manipulate and scheme, creating broken homes and dashing beautiful women like Watch Jazzy and her homemaking dreams. These are the kind of women you gotta watch out for, polite savages, for they are envious and devious, conniving and contemptuous. She's pushing her single 40-plus-year-old self values and claims that this truth of hers rings true, even though she doesn't have a wedding ring around that finger, and a man that's willing to commit his money, resources, network, and most importantly, children to her. I don't know about y'all, but my spidey senses are tingling when I'm observing a woman that's heading 100 miles per hour towards the wall, speaking all this pseudo-analytical mumble-jumble, infecting the minds of the modern women out there, doing more harm than good, corrupting the average woman into falling to the dark side of the sisterhood. Very sinister indeed.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, just want you to think about this situation. If a doctor came to you, started talking to you, and then diagnosed you without you ever signing up for them, you have to sign a patient-doctor agreement before you're even treated. And this lady's doing this live on the air for everyone to see, talking about she's gonna give Jasmine Brown some tools to deal with her situation with Cam Newton.
Who I would love to have a conversation with, whether it's on camera or not, is Jazz.
Yeah.
I think that she needs tools on how to be in this relationship if she's going to stay. And if she chooses to leave, she needs tools on how to also pivot that. And it's not about having a conversation with her or having a session with her to get her to change her mind. It's about getting her to feel supported and showing compassion and trying to figure out where she wants to navigate from here. And I think that Jazz got herself into something that, one, she didn't understand that she was getting herself into, and I think she would love to backpedal if she could.
And Grover hit it right on the head with the madness and craziness of Cheyenne Bryant. Her personal philosophy is infecting the minds of the modern women out there. And what it seems like to me is that PhD in home wrecking will be destroying many families to be. What I can't stand are hypocrites that don't live the truth that they're spewing out there to the masses.
A healthy relationship is not a relationship that doesn't have issues. It's not a relationship that does not have toxicity. It's not a relationship that does not have dysfunction. This is why people don't have relationships today, because they are very conditional. They are extremely judgmental. Relationships are, and people are coming in and saying, if you have one issue or one dysfunction, then it's done.
That makes so much sense to me, that it's like we throw a lot of judgments and expectations around that we wouldn't want thrown around to us.
So if Cam Newton and Jasmine's relationship appears to be lacking toxicity and negativity, then why are you, lady, inserting yourself, kicking up the flames of drama? What it sounds like to me, what I see, what I peep. Let's put on my no degree, no licensed pseudotherapy diagnosis on this situation, that you're out here causing more drama. That so-called healing is really no remedy. As we see, the plan is to make sure any woman with a high-value man will not be standing in the way of women like Cheyenne Bryant.
It's been 41 years. Why haven't you been able to find the right person? And her go-to answer was, I don't believe in rushing and rushing to the altar to be divorced. Like, you said this, you spit the same thing that you told Cam not to spit. Like, that doesn't make sense. You can dish it out, but you can't take it. And that's not okay. Again, a woman who has been engaged multiple times, got the ring, choosing men that you don't want to be with, that you now say that they weren't the right man for me. How can you do that 4 times? And then deflect around the answer, and the go-to is, well, I don't believe in rushing? Are you serious?
These beautiful ladies said it perfectly already, but what I want you to take a look at is one of the reasons that I believe Miss Cheyenne Bryant takes great offense, and possibly I'm speculating here. In a prior relationship of hers, she was cheated on. So who hurt you, sis? All that drama from the past is coming back to haunt her, and now she's out here doing what she can to projecting her insecurities, her resentment at the high-value men that she encounters. The fellas she's out here disrespecting were supposed to be dedicating a full long life of marriage and commitment to women like her.
Kids, it's because this man is not honoring you. Yeah. He's disrespecting you. And he's not only doing it privately, he's doing it publicly. He's not even allowing it to be pillow talk. You know, so it's like, and that's what I mean by the epitome of a high-valued man in the most low functionality you can have. Like, you have no respect at all for this woman.
How long are we talking about?
As long as I've been with Jazz, Jazz has not been the only person that I've had sex with.
I don't know your situation.
But I'm getting personal.
My Newton girlfriend hopped online and said, child, here come the just checking on your DMs. I am fine, trust me. I know who and what it is. Ain't no secrets or surprises. He can talk to me about anything. So you see saying, look, he could cheat on me, he could speak about it in interviews, he could do what the hell he want, because he tell me he do it.
Who you not only have a child with, but you are in a relationship with. You're waiting for God to give you more kids. You have a woman at home. You're sleeping with other women publicly on your platform for this woman to feel how. All you're doing is self-projecting your brokenness and your pain on this woman. In all of these 8 kids and these 3 other women, you are procreating broken houses.
If you know me by now, I cannot take the disrespect that men get, especially from women like this that's spewing their nonsense, more concerned about getting ahead in her career without thinking about the effects that she's having on women out here. She's aiming her way to get a high-value man like 50 Cent. And if she can't get someone like 50 Cent, then she'll just have to settle for a bag. Hell is a road that's paved on good intentions. Whether Miss Bryant is consciously aware or not aware of what she's doing more harm than good, and all it really looks like is pure envy and jealousy.
It's important to know who you are dealing with. There's a lot of women who get into relationships with men who are very clear about who they are, right? They let it be known that they are not the marrying type. They don't want to necessarily be with more than one woman. And a lot of women get into relationships with men that are like that in hopes that they can maneuver, manipulate, or change them, instead of just getting with the man who is very clear with his intentions. I want one woman. I want a family structure. I want to be married. I want the kids. I want the picket fence. Like, there is men who are out there who are saying that, but women skip over that man to be with the man who wants one of many and then try to change him into the man that they should have been with before.
They want is somebody who's like Tupac in a suit, who does not womanize and has sound financial skills and is a loyal mate that goes to PTA.
You know the conversation that happens where they say that, majority of women want a certain percentage of men?
You understand the Petro principle, the 80-20 rule. 80% of women want 20% of the men. It's only getting worse. So, like it or not, high value, no matter how you slice it, is here to stay, and it's always been with us.
The continuation of that conversation is that they want that man so bad that they're willing to share him.
After they realize, I cannot change this mother. I know he like my pussy, but he refuses to be what I want him to be. That's when women get away from me.
That you can meet somebody who's a certain age, anybody over 30, and that you can actually change their character. Like, how are you going to change that?
Somebody in there said money won't keep her happy. Have you ever met a this happy?
I can't stand hypocrites, I can't stand fakes, I can't stand frauds. The psychological projection is at an all-time high. Because this 40-year-old woman knows that time is running out, and she has to handle the field of men and battle scars of rejection, where she's striking out to attempt to destroy the understanding between two individuals in the privacy of their own home and their relationships. Miss Cheyenne Bryant, don't go throw stones in your glass house of cards, because the real ones out here see through your classless pronouncements and farce.
If you're not married to that person, can you cheat on that person? Of course, this is opinion.
I mean, if you want to go by systematic ways, I would assume the answer would be no, right? Because all these same women with this same narrative are like, oh, until he put a ring on it, I'm a single woman. So, he can't expect me to cook, clean, and do all these things. So how can we now hold him to a certain standard if you don't have that mindset?
Yeah, man. It's like...
That's hypocrisy.
Yep.
It is hypocrisy.
Y'all got to be very careful, once again, of who we listen to. Because I think what she said to both of those men were spot on about their trauma and their, past, all that stuff. But in my opinion, you can be trying to check them. And then when they ask you a question about why are you where you are, the go-to is I don't believe in rushing and becoming a baby mama or getting divorced.
That's all I got for you, you polite savages. Like and subscribe. Hit us up on all social media networks.
We found true happiness